Hi, everybody. Thanks to the generosity of John Houlihan, we're having a Halloween contest. 5 winners will receive the Trelleborg Monstrosities novella with the Trelleborg Monstrosities Call of Cthulhu adventure. 5 other winners will receive the Trelleborg Monstrosities novella with the Trelleborg Monstrosities Savage World adventure. All you have to do is email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com with your favorite Call of Cthulhu story. It can be something you played through or a story you read. Just tell us about your experience. And 2, you need to go over to facebook.com/Trelleborg Monstrosities, Trellborg Monstrosities, and like the Facebook page. The contest will run through November 1st at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're looking forward to reading all of your entries.
Button your brain, you're in the nerds domain. Come on in, it's about to begin.
Hi, I'm Matt.
I'm John.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Shirley.
I'm Scott.
And welcome to the Nerds Domain podcast. This week, we're going to talk about what's going on in our lives that's geeky and fun. We also have a topic after that. So let's get started. So, Scott's clearly joining us this week. He's on our Masks of Gnarltep podcast. Scott, let's start with you.
All right.
What have you been reading?
I'm in the middle of the 7th book of the Honor. I can't talk tonight. The Honor Harrington series.
The Honor Arrington?
Yeah, the Honor Arrington. Yeah, that one. Yeah, the Honor Harrington series. Honor in Enemy Hands. It's pretty darn good so far. They've just dropped. I'm right in the middle of it, and they've just dropped into the spit, as it were.
Okay.
It's a really, really good book. I like the series. If you're into space opera and the tactical and technical ins and outs of space combat and the political ramifications of a multi-star system, multifaceted political back and forth, it's got a little bit for everything. It is space opera at its best, in my opinion.
Is this the one you and Jason were talking about?
Yes.
That's like 8,000 books or 35?
22.
22? Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Honor Harrington.
And it starts off on one ship, right?
Yes.
Book 1, and then it expands, and you keep seeing a wider range of the world of the universe. So,
Cool.
I haven't read anything. I just listen.
Yeah.
So I also recorded that. I might have it tucked away somewhere.
Yeah.
So Shirley, you been reading anything?
Yeah, we received some of the ebooks from Eggplant Literary Productions. Eggplant Literary Productions. Do I need to set
Yes,
up?
you do.
Okay. Eggplant Literary Productions, and I've been reading some short stories from them. My next short story is going to be Enemies,
Little Theory.
Little Theory. So.
Okay. Johnny, you been reading?
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
I know, it's been great. Actually, I haven't been reading anything. I've been listening because I do art on my free time, and then I do art at work, so I can't read. So I listen. Listen to, I forgot his first initials now.
R.A.
R.A.?
Salvatore?
No.
Oh.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to talk about. I wrote a review that's going to go up sometime soon.
Monday.
Okay.
Yep.
Depending on when you're listening to this. For a book called Foundling. It's a book about an orphan. He's a magic boy. It's a young adult series. Kind of like Harry Potter. He's an orphan in a world, and he's your point of view character. He knows very little because he's sheltered in the orphanage, and then he goes out and has to fight monsters and experience political intrigue, and that's all good. The book I'm in the middle of right now is what Matt was referencing, R.A. Salvatore. Is that right? Salvatore? Uh-huh. Yeah. His first ever written book, not necessarily first published, but first ever written. It's called Echoes of the Fourth Wind. It is about the crew of the Sea Lab, not the real Sea Lab, but thereabouts.
Is it set in 2020?
No, it does not say when it is set. It is just set in the near future.
Okay.
But they basically space travel has hit a brick wall and nobody wants to do it anymore. So they decide to explore the ocean depths on a big submarine. submarine gets sucked into a swirling black vortex that turns out to be the apex of the Bermuda Triangle. They get out on the other side, and they realize they've got a time dilation thing happening. Inside the bubble, time is moving very slowly. Outside the bubble, time is moving very fast. So they come out 12,000 years in the future after humans have bombed themselves into near extinction when angel/aliens have made a utopia on some landmass. The humans have come back, but it's all medieval technology with a little bit of magic. There are 4 wizards, and then they are plagued with they birth 100 orcs that they call talons, and then a couple centuries later they birth 100 elves, which they call elves, and the elves take on the name Illuminati or something, and because of the way the talons were, the elves were treated like bad guys, and all 3 races depart, and then the main characters come into the story, and there's basically a race war going on, and people of the past who know the problems with wars are supposed to save the future, and it gets real fun from there. It's part of a series. I'm halfway through the first book.
Okay.
I have no idea where it's going, but it's interesting. It's the first Salvatore book I've ever read, and I like it. It's different.
It's one of the few Salvatore books I haven't read.
Yeah.
Salvatore's the writer that George Lucas let kill Chewbacca.
Really?
It saved the series. I mean, that was...
Yeah.
I really like that turning point.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so anyway.
So, Jesse.
I've actually been reading something. I don't read things often. I am rereading the Iliad.
Okay.
Nice.
I read it as a kid. I absolutely loved it. It's what got me into myth. It's what I personally feel got me into Dungeons & Dragons as a whole. It really shaped my childhood. One of my teachers suggested I reread it now that I've had some history courses and I know what goes on. And rereading it, there's a lot of really weird things that stick out. For starters, well, not just the whole the gods are fighting along with people and stuff like that, but they clearly knew they fought on chariots, but they had completely forgotten how chariot fighting happened. Everybody who's on a chariot rise their chariot up to the head of the battle, dismounts and fights. The chariot was nothing but transport. Whereas during that time, they would have fought from the chariot. That's what chariots were for. They were something to fight from. Yeah.
Against
quick light cavalry.
Yeah. The one thing she pointed out in class was the time period that it's written in, it's from the time of the kings, but the way everybody acts, it acts from a much earlier time point to where there was a bunch of warlords fighting together because everybody's after personal glory.
Right.
It's not about the main fight. It's everybody else is there for their own reasons. They just happen to be there together for their own reasons.
I like the Iliad. The Odyssey, though, is what it's a lighter read. It's got a lot more adventure, but yeah, the Iliad is good classic literature stuff.
Yep.
So.
I've been rereading. I just reread Wearing the Cape by Marion G. Harmon. There's his name. Who will be joining us sometime in the next couple of weeks for a podcast. He's a self-published author. He's only written 4 books, but they've all been self-published through the Kindle store. Really good series. The basics of the series are 10 years ago, there was the event, what's also known as the blackout. For 3.2 seconds, everything in the world went dark, including planes and the sky. No one knows because no one remembers that 3.2
everyone
seconds.
blacked out.
And then when everyone woke up, certain people had powers. Johnny and Shirley might remember this as the beginning of my own story that I ran as a role-playing game. But the first real scene hero was Atlas, this guy who was working at an airport as a baggage handler who became what they call an Atlas type, essentially Superman. And he was helping planes land and saving people, and he became so important visually that when he started his own team in Chicago called the Sentinels, they became like the core of everything that is being superheroes. So this is 10 years later, and it's all about the politics of what being a superhero really means. And then during these 10 years, there's been the Caliphate Wars, where all of the Middle East went, Israel, we don't like you, and attacked them, and how that all fell out, and how China fell apart as a country, and it became all these independent warlord states because they all were backed by superpowers. So it's this really interesting idea. He's written Wearing the Cape, and then the Villains Inc. was just after that, and then Bite Me, which is following us. One of the characters goes on a side adventure thing, and then Omega Knights is a short story, and then Young Sentinels is his last one that he just put out. He's been really, really nice to us. He's commented on the site a lot, so he's clearly reading it. We appreciate you, Marion, if you're listening now. But I love what he's written and what he's writing now. So I'm looking forward to anything else he puts out, and so far it's been really good. So anybody listening to podcasts? You listen to podcasts, Scott?
Not really.
Not really?
I'm trying to get into this. There's this one podcast, Nerds something or other. That I'm
it's like a
Dominatrix or
Demons.
Dom. I don't know. I'm not.
Could be.
I think I bumped into it. There's almost no reviews on iTunes or anything for it.
Yeah, yeah. We should get iTunes reviews. We really don't have any iTunes reviews. So Johnny, you listen to podcasts a lot.
Yep. That's the other thing I do when I'm not listening to audiobooks.
Yeah.
Recently found a new one called D&D Academy. They've got like 35 episodes or so in. They do a fourth. They started with a 4th ed campaign that I've not actually gotten to listen to that yet. What I did listen to was a Savage Worlds play test that they did. It's pretty good. Aside from the actual play podcast that they do game theories. Specifically, how to run a game, what makes good content for a game, and that kind of thing. Their opinions are good, solid things. I've disagreed with them on a few points, but it only bothers me because when I disagree, I'd like to speak up and throw in my point of view. But I'm listening to a podcast, not having the conversation. So
which is the only reason Johnny's on this one.
Yeah, so I can have the conversation. So it's good. I recommend checking it out. It may not be for everybody, but it's definitely a decent one in my opinion. So,
okay, Jesse.
Well, I've started listening to a couple that's been suggested on the show in the past. When Nerds Collide.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it. It is very mature, but it's still hilarious.
Very mature in that they use a lot of curse words.
Yeah, there's a lot of
immature in that they use a lot of curse words.
I started listening to Heroes and Villains, even though some of the characters I don't really know a lot about.
Which is the point of listening to
it. It is.
The only problem I have with Heroes and Villains is that whole left side.
It seems
thing.
to be coming out of it a little bit in the newer
because that
ones,
drives me
but
nuts.
it did on the starter ones. I
but
can't go
you know
back.
a guy that's been on there a couple of times.
Yeah,
he's a pretty smart guy.
Maybe.
I've been on there a couple of times, and Bruce over at Hero and Villains is really, really good.
Yeah, he seems like it. And the other one I've been listening to is one called Philosophize This. What it does, it either focuses in on a group of philosophers from a long time back, or focuses in on one particular person. Like he's got 2 full episodes of an hour each on Aristotle. He talks about Pluto, Taoism,
Plato,
Pluto, whatever. I like the planet. You like the dog.
It's
anyway,
not a planet.
Whatever.
Your hero ruined it.
It is a planet.
Anyway, though.
Hey, it was a planet for how long?
The only thing I have against it is he came out. It looks like he's got 3 episodes in June, 3 episodes in July, 1 episode in August, and nothing since.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's going
It's what we
to
call
be
pod
there.
fading, right?
Yeah. I think it might be gone.
And by the way, I own a T-shirt that says, "When I was your age, Pluto was a planet."
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Shirley, have you been listening to anything?
I just been listening to Last Frequency from the Dystopic Boys. I'm getting ready to put write a review for that, so I'm not gonna say very much here. But
Did you like it?
I love those guys. They're hilarious.
Well, I like their other stuff, but what about this particular
Last
subsection?
Frequency, I really like Last Frequency.
Go ahead,
I like a lot of music, so listening to the Last Frequency
Is it about music? I've never
Not-
actually listened
not
to
Have
that.
you listened?
Really.
Have you listened to the Dystopic Boys podcast?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Their
yeah, I
regular
like
one,
their movies.
where they talk about
Yeah.
movies. This is where they talk about everything else that has anything to do with dystopic.
Oh.
So they talk about
it's like video games.
Yeah, they talk about World War
Music
Z.
and- yeah,
They
video
talked about The Last of Us. I mean,
okay.
they just hit
Nice,
like,
yeah.
and they talk about music that they've listened to that kind of reminds them of stuff, and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. It's just everything else that's not the movies that they normally do. So yeah,
And do you want to hear about former podcasts?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The three biggies that I generally regularly hit were the Christopher Titus podcast, mostly for the Armageddon update.
okay.
The Manager Tools group. There's a whole Manager Tools things if you're into career advancement, management,
Okay.
etc.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really got some. They've really got some good stuff, especially from the introductory standpoint of. So you finally got an 8 to 5 Monday through Friday corporate career thing. How's that going to turn out for you? They've got some really good information
And that's
there.
called Manager Tools.
Manager Tools.
Okay, I'll have to look into that.
Manager-tools.com.
Okay.
I have loved reading and listening to some of their stuff. I mean, they're really... And then Pedestrian Polyamory, which is for the polyamorous types.
Okay.
Good stuff.
So I have been back on Good Job Brain because I really like the way they set up. It's a trivia podcast, and they started as a Kickstarter, so that's kind of awesome too. And they've had a lot of fun. I learned a lot of really ridiculous, weird things all about castoreum. If you're not familiar with castoreum, if you've ever eaten anything raspberry flavored, it's in there, and it comes from a gland on a beaver near his anus. And by near his anus, I mean on his anus.
So why does it have to be put in raspberry stuff?
Because it enhances the flavor of raspberry.
Haven't you ever had a raspberry?
I am not freaking eating anything ever raspberry except for raspberry.
So if you ever pick up
off the
anything
bush.
that says raspberry, it's raspberry flavored and it says natural flavors added, that's castoreum.
No.
Or as they call it on the podcast, anal beaver juice.
Doesn't matter where it
Wow.
comes from so long as it's good.
Like
No.
raspberry zinger tea
Yeah.
has this
I have
castoreum
it.
in it.
Any chocolatey thing that you've ever had that's raspberry
Oh,
raspberry
God.
ice cream?
Pop-Tarts?
Yeah, raspberry Pop-Tarts, I bet has castoreum in it.
Wow, like,
I'll
okay,
have to go read
Smucker's
the box.
raspberry jam.
Probably has castoreum.
I'll
Wow.
have to go read some labels.
And by the way,
So
boys
it's
and girls...
just raspberry stuff that they do
Yeah.
this too, right?
Yes, both
Both
of those.
those? Okay.
Yes. And by the way, boys and girls, the raspberry flavoring, the actual raspberry stuff, very good for the female parts at that particular time of the month. It helps minimize
Really?
cramping.
Yeah,
Helps
yeah.
minimize. Oh yes.
Old
eating
in the
raspberries?
olden days they used to eat whole beavers. That's how we got that.
Oh, excellent. Very good.
Oh my god! I'm kidding.
Oh, that was adult tag. Moving on.
So if you eat raspberry
So like
stuff,
raspberry zinger tea.
uh-huh.
If you have like 5 days before that, you were visited by
Yeah.
your ant flow, as they call it
Yeah.
in the particular 5 days before, and then during, all
It's
is
called your
it
moon
will
time.
it will lower cramping. It will lower general issues and problems that you had. It's very
Huh.
good for the pipes.
Raspberry zinger.
Raspberry zinger tea,
I'm going to
raspberry,
go
an actual
find some
raspberry, none of that
raspberries
artificial
at the
raspberry
store
flavoring. Screw that noise. No,
and
actual
boil
raspberry.
them and make my own raspberry tea because I'm not buying any raspberry nothing
Th-
ever
th-
again
this
from
whole-
the store.
this whole
no
beavering
beaver
is-
juice.
Puts a whole new spin on the whole blowing a raspberry sort of.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I've also been listening to stuff you missed in history class because I like that
Yay.
too. And those are short. I don't know if you know those, Scott, but those are
Yes.
short podcasts. They're really quick, and you.
I've caught the YouTube ones.
Yeah, those are cool. But those all come from Discovery Channel, and those are all really good. I've been really impressed with those. And then the Good Friends of Jackson Elias, which is all about Cthulhu and books and podcasts and stuff that they do, and they're really good.
Listen to that one. I need to.
It's worth it, and I'm gonna push to try and meet them at Gen Con next year. So
Nice.
Yeah, the
This-
first time he said that, I was like, Jackson Elias.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking,
Where
I know
have
that
I
name.
met him?
Sounds familiar.
I know him. Where have I met him?
So let's move on to gaming, Johnny.
I'm still
You just
digging
wrote
through.
game reviews.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, what did I write about? I'm still digging through my bundle of holding that I purchased 2
Mm-hmm.
2 months ago. It was a package of 5 games. 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 5 7 to 10 indie games. The website, Bundle of Holding, is a charity funding organization. You go on there and they sell different things. I believe they go 2-week periods, maybe 13 days, whatever. And the money they make, the majority of it goes to charity. I got, like I said, 7 books done by independent game designers, which was really fun for me because I love, reading systems and things. The one I'm currently reading is called Sorcerer, where the players are normal people who have learned to contact, summon, and bind demons who will then do their will as long as you meet the demon's requirements. And that's a very open-ended concept. Whatever the players decide it is, like one demon might want a drop of your blood every day, or
fill out a W-2 and provide 2 forms of identification.
There you go, every couple months. Yeah, whatever floats your boat, and then the GM gets to decide how this plays out. It's very intriguing. Very intriguing system. I'm going to write a review for it very soon to go in more in depth. And then other than that, my daughter. Well, this kind of goes into the apps column too. My daughter is playing Coin Dozer on my phone. It's a very fun game. You've been to the carnival and you see the little machines where you drop the quarter in, and the little block pushes that quarter into other quarters, pushes things off the side, and you get those prizes. That's all this game is, but she loves to just sit there and drop that coin.
Oh, wow. Well, good. You've got a future gambler right there.
So this is called Coin
Dozer.
Oh, my gosh.
You get prizes like objects, which you can then sell for coins to then dump back into the machine, or you can shoot for... Yep, that's it. You can shoot for gathering a whole set of prizes and getting the mysterious bonus prize.
Oh.
I have no idea what that means. But she enjoys the crap out of that game.
Okay. Scott, any games that you've been playing lately?
Now, by games, are we limiting that strictly to like role-playing type games?
No.
Or like
board games.
So if I
online
get,
games, computer games, any kind of game.
So if I throw out that that recently in the last month and a half, my son, we downloaded for him for his birthday Minecraft.
Yeah.
And
That's a game.
That
has anyone else there at the table played that?
I absolutely love Minecraft.
that it has become addictive like crack. And
we had to ban my son from watching Minecraft videos. He doesn't have Minecraft, so we went and watched everybody else, and there were some inappropriate things that were said in a YouTube video.
Oh yes, that's YouTube for you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so he is no longer allowed to get on YouTube and watch Minecraft videos.
Yeah, and so Minecraft and building lava blades and hidden doors and mining and digging all the way down to bedrock and. The horrible part is that I'm like, okay, why am I spending 6 hours doing this again? And I'm like, oh my god! And then I go to sleep, and then I'm like, I gotta play Minecraft again. This was, and they just came out with the Halloween texture pack. This is on the Xbox 360, and it's just, it's like crack cocaine. I can't understand it.
Yeah. Do you fly?
No.
Oh, you
good. You play survival
because I'm in survival mode.
That's the best way to play.
Yeah, and it's one of those where no, I don't fly. I mean. I have thought about like, ooh, hey, that'd be really nice to be able to fly up and build something over here and then fly back down. And then I'm like...
But that removes the challenge.
Well, and that was the thing, is I originally downloaded it, and I went into straight D&D Christopher Columbus mode, and I'll explain that here momentarily, because I wandered around for the first, 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, oh, look, I dug up a block of dirt. And then, I put the block of dirt down, because it's all squares, or it's all cubes. So I'm like, okay... Who cares? And I was like, really? So I'm wandering around, like, oh, look, there's a mountain, and there's a lake, and there's a whole thing. And I saw this hole in the side of the mountain, which immediately equated to cave. Okay. And then I went, well, that's the cave where the kobolds and trolls live. I will have to gather my sword, shield, armor, which they don't have shields, but they had a sword and they had armor. And I thought, well, I have to go explore this cave. Much like Christopher Columbus, slay everything in it, take their gold, and take it back to me. The D&D player immediately went, well, I have to kill everything inside of that hole. And it became like immediate dungeon crawl. And I'm like, oh, well, but I need a bed so that I can sleep, so I gotta find some sheep, and I gotta kill them and get some wool. And then oh, I need food, so I need to make a food source, so I'm going to need to raise some cows, raise some chickens, and I'm like, oh, so I need a furnace to cook the chicken or cook the steak because you get more health out of cooked food than you do out of... And I'm like, it is spiraled into this... So I've got mushrooms, which are cows that mushrooms grow on the back of them.
Oh my god.
So I can take a wooden bowl, I can scrape down the side of my cow and get mushroom stew. Which is like the most disgusting thing I have ever... But I'm like, hey, look, it's a free source of food. I don't ever have to, like, you know...
You're not killing the cow, you just harvest from the cow. Yeah.
Mushrooms,
right? Mushrooms too. And I have a swimming pool full of chickens. And you're thinking to yourself...
They're not free range?
What? Seriously? No, they're all... Because you line basically a 2x2x10 pit with water on all the edges, and it sweeps in towards the middle. Well, if you dig that middle down and put up ladders or signs, ladders are considered they're not full block. They're transparent blocks.
Yeah.
So to air, they're transparent. You can walk through them. To water, they're solid. So it all pours towards the middle, but never funnels down into the tunnel underneath. So all the chickens just get swept towards the middle. Well, in the tunnel underneath, you put two blocks of water at the end, and it sweeps everything out of that tunnel into a nice little spot at the beginning. So all the chicken eggs that drop all get swept along, and I just go by and pick them up and move on. And it's just this horrid idea. It's like,
oh
my God, why have I built all of this? Like, and I keep, because all I want to do is go into the cave and kill those things and take their gold, right? It's like, this is D&D, this is what you do. Found a dungeon crawl, gotta clean it out, gotta find what's in there. And that's where it all sort of sprouted from, and now it's just... And then I built a thing of dirt.
Built a castle.
I built like a shelter of dirt, and then I was like, ooh, cobblestone. I can dig stone, and I can put cobblestone.
I hear you love cobblestone.
That's, yeah.
This one's brown, and this one's a little different.
Yeah, I'm not an Anne Rice fan because of the cobblestones, exactly. So, and then I realized you can turn cobblestone into regular stone, turn regular stone into stone brick, which looks like castle work. So I had to tear down everything I had to replace with stone brick. I'm like, And then I found about this, like, there's this other world called the Nether that you can build this Nether portal and go into this whole other place. Oh my God! Like, this is just...
So
that's the game I'm playing.
We didn't tell Scott that his answer should be...
short. There are no...
I like...
Have you started playing around with redstone yet? Circuits?
Yes! Oh my God! So you can build basic circuits too! I'm like,
Yeah.
what? So it's Electronics 101 for my son, who's also trying to play this.
Oh, right.
And he's just put down a set of rails, and he's like, well, how do I get the car to move from here to there? And he's got to figure out how to power it, and repeaters, and all this stuff. And I built, like, secret hidden doors with bookcases that slide open to other rooms and stuff. And so he's getting challenged with all of this, too. I'm losing my freaking mind, and I'm like, the game doesn't really do anything.
Nope.
At work, I have people come to me and go, Minecraft, what is it? I said, it's fun. So why? It's fun.
It's like Legos.
Yeah.
Virtual Legos.
Virtual Legos with a bunch of different... because the problem is the built-in dependencies are, I'll just build everything out of dirt and sleep on the floor. No, you won't.
Yeah.
Just because you need these other things, and if you want these other things, well, then you've got to build all this other infrastructure and all these other things.
Yeah.
And it will be a horrible time sink.
There's a guy we listened to on a podcast that built a 1/8 scale model of the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah.
Nice.
It is amazing.
What do you call those? Turbo lifts and shuttle bays and a bridge. Now it's all blocked, so it's a little weird looking, but he put a lot of time in. And this was not in survival mode, clearly. He built it up in the air where it flies. But yeah, it was really, really impressive. Yeah. So Shirley, what games have you been playing? Let's keep that a little short.
Sorry.
What have I been playing? There's stuff. Zombies Ate My Friends.
That's an app.
It's an app on my Kindle. Zombies Ate My Friends. Castleville Legends. And... Dice with Buddies.
Okay.
Survivor.
Go ahead. Sorry.
What?
Survive.
Survive from
Stronghold Games.
Stronghold Games.
So it's a good game.
We just introduced that to my family over the past couple weekends, and they really like it.
what is survive? Is that the
That's the island, yeah.
Sinking island.
It's a sinking
It
island.
is.
You have to get off. You have to get your 10 guys off the island without getting eaten by sharks.
I believe I wrote a review for that one on
Your
our
And
website.
it can either
Probably.
be cooperative or
They play
combative.
cooperative. I don't understand.
You
that.
can play that cooperatively?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are sharks that eat people in the water. There are whales that destroy boats that throw the people on the boats in the water that the sharks then eat. Or there are sea monsters that just eat boats in water. Or boats and people. So, and then the island, you're taking off tiles of the island each turn,
And
making
the
the
tiles
island
tell
slowly
you what
sink.
to do with the animals.
And then eventually you flip over the last tile that is a volcano, and then the game ends. Because you're on Atlantis, and it's sinking into the water.
Okay.
So, that's the idea, and they're all worth points. It's fun.
It is.
I played the Pathfinder Adventure card game.
Oh, we played that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not bad.
I didn't like it.
I think it's going to take a little bit to get used to. It's a different
died.
feel, and there's some rules are not where they ought to be.
Yeah.
So about when you die, like when you use all your cards, that's not with anywhere near the cards are. So yeah, that was pretty good. Jesse, did we come to you?
Yes.
Can I get a shout out, by the way?
Yes.
The last thing before Minecraft was the entire Mass Effect series.
Oh.
Lots of love towards Mass Effect.
Oh, I've been playing Fallout 3 a lot. Have you played Fallout 3?
I've not.
Oh, it's fun.
I'm
New
almost
Vegas.
tempted to hand you my copy and send you home with it.
Really?
It is a...
Now, do I have to be in Fallout 1 or Fallout 2? Because I asked the same thing about...
Those are both on computer, and they have story. None of it is important, but it gives you a little more background for the world. But those both take place on the West Coast. Fallout 3 is in D.C., in quote-unquote D.C.
Right.
This is year 2174 or something.
Yeah.
After the horrible war of 2026 or something, where the bombs dropped.
We annexed Canada.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, we annexed Canada because China was using it as a staging ground for troops.
Nice.
So we annexed it.
You said, yeah, thanks for that.
See,
because the reason that I ask is I asked the same question of Cloris, Patient C. Yay, shout out to Cloris. Okay, I'm going to play Mass Effect. Should I start at 2? Do I need to go back to 1? And she said, start at 1, work your way through the whole thing. You'll be happy that you did.
Yeah,
And
this one,
yeah.
one, you cannot get Fallout 1 or 2 on anything but PC, and
They-
you'd have to run a program to slow it
Yeah,
down.
and it plays 100% differently than this one. And
Yeah, they're both
there's like
top
computer
down.
screens to where you get the lore. You know what happens with just
Yeah.
Fallout 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Or even New Vegas, that's back over where the other storyline is.
Yes, New Vegas is
It's still-
over by Vegas. They each have a different storyline, but it's a horror survival shooter game.
Yeah.
If you're in combat, you're going to die. I mean, you have to work really hard. I was like playing tonight when Johnny and Jesse came over. I quit paying full attention to it, and I almost died in a firefight
Nice.
because
With
you
a
have
bug.
to with a bug. So, but there's like super mutants, and like there's these mutated bears called Yogwai, and they are freaking rough. And then there are death claws.
Yeah. Have you come across the behemoths yet?
Yeah, I fought.
Yeah.
I went to Evergreen Mills and forgot there was one chained up, and they
Oh,
opened
yeah.
the freaking door and let it loose on me. So super mutants are like 10 foot tall.
Yeah.
They carry guns. Behemoths are 25 foot tall, and they punch you to death.
Nice.
So
Be up close and personal for you.
yeah.
You know.
So I've been playing Fallout 3 again for like the third time, but this time I'm actually going to play through the main storyline because there's all these side quests. And so you get this map of the DC area, and if you just go on your main quest, it only takes you to 15, 20 places. If you go on all the side quests, you find 106 or...
Yeah. It's very in-depth.
So is this something you could play with the little ones in the room, or is it like...
It's bloody. Very bloody.
Oh, then no, we don't want. Okay.
Yeah.
It'd definitely be an after they go to bed kind
Yeah,
of
because
thing.
their combat system is called... One of the things they do is called VATS, which is action, something.
Yeah.
So instead of...
Turn-based, or...
No, it's all real time, but then you can bring up VATS so that it brings up like a heads up display of their body, and you see the percentage of your chance to hit certain parts, and you can choose the part and choose to. I'm going to put one in his head, one in his arm, one in his leg, and when it pops out, it will roll your percentage chance to hit those spots.
Okay.
So it makes it easier in firefights when it's really dangerous. For oh my god, that thing's going to kill me. You can go. Well, I'm going to put 3 in its head. And each gun has a different amount of action points it takes, so you only have so many. So, like a pistol, that's quick shot action points. A rifle, your hunting rifle, more action points. Your sniper rifle, even more action points per shot.
But it deals more damage.
But
when it hits certain
so I get like
locations.
2 shots with my sniper rifle. I get 3 shots with my hunting rifle. I technically only get 3 bursts with my AK-47, but it's 3 bursts of 3 shots, so I get 9 shots.
Right.
So I can usually take something down with an AK-47, but I've just wasted 9 bullets, and they're hard to find.
Yeah, ammunition is very limited.
Scarce. Okay.
Yeah, so it's all interesting, and there's a deep story. It's really good. And then New Vegas is the same way.
Yeah,
The
I
story's
absolutely
just
love
as
New
deep.
Vegas.
It's a different area altogether.
Yeah. I've put every bit of... Well, Steam says I put 250 some odd hours into New Vegas, and I have not seen near all of it.
I played over at Eric's, and I was at 85 hours on Fallout 3 before I got kind of tired of it. I had to walk away for a while, and then when I came back, I was like, well, I just play New Vegas instead. So I ended up putting another 25 or 30 hours into that. And just playing through the main storyline, I probably put 25 hours in this one.
Nice.
So
But yes,
yeah,
games.
Sorry.
I just recently got the new Pokemon game for the DS. 3DS.
Pokemon X?
Yes, it was X.
X or Y?
It was X.
Who'd you choose as your starting?
My starting was the little fox, Firefox, and Bulbasaur, because Bulbasaur was
Also
the first
good
one I
answer.
chose from the first. Now, I was slightly disturbed. I haven't played since, like, Red. I tried White, I didn't get into it because it was all new Pokemon. It wasn't... there was no familiarity with the game whatsoever.
When you say red, you
So-
mean Fire Emblem Red or whatever?
Yeah, the first, whatever came out, the very first Pokemon.
Well, the first one was red and blue.
Red, yeah, it
Oh,
was the
so you
first
played
one.
number
Yeah, I
one.
played number 1, and then I played White, and then I played
Oh,
X.
White of black and white.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I chose this cute little Firefox thing, and things were going good, and then it evolved. It evolved into a bipedal creature.
Mhm.
I didn't know it would do that. I didn't know Pokemon did that. I knew there were some that walked on 2 legs, like Mr. Mime. He's freaky.
Or Charizard.
But Charizard's a dragon. I mean, he's got little
Mewtwo?
Or Squirtle.
T-Rexes. It's Squirtle, kind of, when he
Bul-
fights.
Bulbasaur?
Squirtle was always bipedal.
When he fights, I don't know.
He was always
It-
bipedal.
Is Pikachu not bipedal?
Yeah, well,
It is,
he's
but he's got
switch back and forth.
Only
Yeah.
every time when he talks, and
Yeah.
most of the time when he fights.
It wasn't what I was expecting, but
Okay.
I absolutely love the game. There's a good mixture of Pokemon that is old and new. I'm up to, like, I think my 5th badge. Things are going well.
Oh, wow.
Just so you
Ramped it
know,
up.
all of the storyline takes place between badge 7 and 8.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, there was between the first and the second badge, there was like 4 hours of gameplay. I mean, there was a large amount of time between the first 2 badges, and then things could speed up a little bit. But
Is
they have
this where I get to pull out the line? I'm sorry, I don't follow Pokemon much.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because normally that's what I do to really irritate the majority of people that go off on a tangent
It's
of
okay,
something
you-
not Pokemon related, but like they'll talk about cars, or they'll talk about this, or they'll talk about whatever.
It's okay.
And whatever they're talking about, I go, I'm sorry, I don't follow Pokemon, and then they lose their minds, and then we move on.
It's okay, Scott. You don't have to like everything that's good.
That's okay. Yeah, I know. I've come to realize
They
that.
have a thing in this where you can do random trades with just people. Like, you throw a little Pokemon up and you trade randomly.
Yeah.
Well, I traded this, like, level 1 cocoon thing, and I got a Ditto in return, and
Nice.
apparently you can't get one till later. And there's apparently this daycare,
Yeah.
which is like the worst daycare in the world,
Yeah.
because you set 2 of your little Pokemon kids there.
And suddenly
And
there's
then
an
you come
egg.
back
They
and
don't
there's
know
an
where
egg.
it came from.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Hokey Pokey or Hanky Panky at the daycare.
And if
That's
you put
not
a
even right.
Ditto, which is this gelatinous goo, it breeds with anything.
Yeah, it literally will breed with anything.
It will never leave the daycare. because
Apparently there's a if you get the quote unquote Japanese Ditto, I learned this from Steven at work. If you get the Japanese Ditto, there's like a 50% higher chance that those eggs will hatch into shiny Pokemon,
Oh,
which
really?
have better stats. Now,
Of
he had to
course, it
work
likes
real
the
hard to get
Japanese.
the shiny Ditto, but now he
Yeah.
is basically working a Pokemon farm in his
my God.
Pokemon Y, and it's almost as bad as a puppy farm because when he doesn't get the shiny that he wants, he lets it go in the wild and lets it fend for itself.
Wow.
That's terrible.
The Bow Chicka Bow Wow daycare center though is probably inappropriate for
It's
on many levels.
a little
it's-
disturbing.
Well,
You're
no,
not
and they
supposed to
tell
take that
you,
away.
they're like,
Just
hey,
say-
we found this egg. We don't know where it came from. It's
You
yours.
take it. Yeah.
It just hashes into what was in there.
Yeah.
You put in 2 Pokemon, whatever 2 you
It
put in
doesn't
comes
have to
out.
be the same kind of Pokemon. They have to be from the same kind of like
Egg
area.
Yeah, so
But
like,
yeah.
so like an electric with another electric might work.
Yeah.
But like a Mr. Mime with a Charizard probably won't.
Yeah.
even if it's a female Mr. Mike.
But we're still going to take pictures of them and post them online because people pay, $7.99 a month for. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So anyway,
The other game I've been playing a lot is a role-playing game called Call of Cthulhu.
Cat
Yeah,
Cthulhu?
Cthulhu. It still has some of the horror themes. It doesn't have the sanity, which is kind of disappointing. It's very player-friendly. You start off with 9 lives because you're a cat.
Is this like Hello Cthulhu?
Kind of. It could
Okay.
be that way. And the cats are basically the protectors of the world. Because they like the way they're positioned in the world. They like the world the way it is. Fish are evil. They want to try to
Well, obviously,
take
deep
over
ones.
everything. Insects are bad. Dogs are just kind of odd.
They're just stupid bad.
But yeah, and it's. I've done 2 games in a campaign I've started, and out of 9 lives, everybody has lost at least 2, and one person's down to like 3 lives remaining. I have ramped up the difficulty far more than the book says you should.
yeah,
But I'm not playing with kids either, and I think the
fullback.
book might be leaning more towards trying to. This is a good way to introduce your kids to Cthulhu in a nice friendly way.
Should that sentence have been allowed to have been constructed?
yeah. I
Nice.
almost bought Baby's First Cthulhu for my son.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is D is for deep ones. They live in the ocean.
Oh, wow.
All right, so apps. Shirley, you been using any apps other than the ones you already told us about?
No, we just playing game apps.
Okay. Jesse.
Well, I have this new app called Coindozer. Actually, I have something called Strive, I think. It's STRIIV. It's a foot counter. What do you call it?
You have 2 feet.
Pedometer?
You don't need the app anymore.
Pedometer.
I've done. I've counted the
that's
2
what
you
you-
have.
But
Pedometer.
it slams under this pedometer a Facebook-style game. We have a certain amount of energy to spend during the day to do things, but the energy you have to spend is generated from the amount of steps you've taken. So if you want more energy to power your little town, you have to walk to get it.
Oh
So if you
my
want more
gosh,
energy in the
I might
game,
have
use
to
more
play
energy
that.
out of the game.
Exactly. And it has, like, I have signed it up with my Facebook. There's only one other person who has it with Facebook. And then we have goals that we have to meet. Like, if I don't walk a lot, she does. So I get a whole lot of extra energy because we're meeting our goals because she's doing all the walking.
Oh
Nice.
my gosh,
Lazy
that's
ass.
so lazy.
But I really enjoy it.
Okay.
It seems interesting.
All right. Johnny, any other apps besides,
Coindozer.
Coindozer. This podcast brought to you by Coindozer.
I wish.
Yeah.
Coindozer, if you would like to
Sponsor the podcast.
we will take your money
Yeah.
in a heartbeat.
And our email will come up towards the end. And honestly, no. The only thing I've used recently besides Coindozer is the Redbox app. I'm sure everybody that uses Redbox is aware of the Redbox app. You can get your movies and lock them in, all but pay for them before you show up where they are. It's very convenient for finding where the movie is that you want to watch. I like it a lot.
Right on. Scott, apps?
A new app that I've downloaded recently that I really enjoy because the site as a whole I think is particularly good and the application itself is wonderful is Trello, TRELLO.com. You can get it on Android and iPhone as well. What it is basically for those of you out there that like to make lists, like to-do lists. When you start a new Trello board, you can create an organization. Each organization can have as many boards as you want, but each board starts with to do, doing, done. And the really nice function is it's collaborative. So what I'm using it for mostly is I'm getting ready to run a Dark Ages game in January, so I'm putting together an influence board, a storyteller's board, a writer's board, and I'm going to have a bunch of exterior writers to the game write short stories and other works of fiction to take the input that my players are doing and write stories around them, tying them all together so that we get, cross influence. Somebody's doing something in this city, somebody else is doing something there, while my writers take a third point of view from a different city and weave it all together. you can invite other people to it or to your board. And so I've set up a influences list, here's the stuff we need to do. I'm going to set up a list that it's lists of lists that are easily handled in card format. Each item is its own card. Within those items, you can put you can put checklists, links, movies, attachments,
So it's
due
like
dates.
Project management.
Yes, it is project management from a very visual, very easy to use platform, and it's free.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
It is.
Sold.
Yeah, and it's really one of those where, like, oh, wow, I didn't... And I'm thinking, well, gosh, how would I end up using this? And I created a board for home where I have got one list is shopping list. So it's live at all times. So if I go get on the shopping list and she's got bread, milk, cheese, and I get in the car and drive over to the shopping list, she can add butter and go, oh, I got to pick up butter too. And it's all real time. It's all interactive. You can access it from your PC or from your mobile device.
Okay.
And again, the cost is free. And I have found it is very, very, very helpful.
What's it called again?
Trello, Trello, and I guess I can send out links to all you guys because if you guys sign up with it using my link, I get a free month of their gold, which
Right on.
gives you extra goody stuff.
that's
Oh,
Yeah,
you have
wait
to
for your
you have to
email.
sign up for it.
You have
No.
you have to create an account.
Oh, I'm out.
And then from there you can use as much as you want.
Yeah, but I have to sign things.
You lost him at putting in a username.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, but once you put your username and password in, you never ask for it again.
Nope, doesn't matter.
Oh, we lost Jesse on that
He
one.
doesn't- he
No,
wants to
and
be off
even
the
if you
grid.
don't, I mean, even if I don't get the perk and Benny from you signing up, it's really one of those where if you do anything where, oh well, I'm going to put together a game, or oh well, I've got yard work chores that I want to get listed out, or you want to make a to-do list. Yeah,
Oh,
if you
I
have
need
those
to
in
get
your
writers to do their jobs.
yeah, hey, think about that. That could help out the whole. Yeah, and you put together. If your wife likes to make to-do lists, let her go to town,
And then just ignore them.
and then yeah, whatever you want to do.
So basically, how would I do for the site?
Yay!
Yeah, pretty much.
No, but I've really found it to be very user friendly, to be very, very open. It's very visual, so the cards are little blocks, and you can move them around, and you can do things, and I like it a lot. It is my favorite new app.
Right on. I have an app that's much like Scott's. It's called T-Rex Tea Party. It's actually nothing like Scott's. Where you play a little
Last time,
T-Rex.
I thought.
Did we?
I think you did.
whatever.
Okay.
It is,
Well,
yeah.
fine. I still like T-Rex Tea Party. I get to play a T-Rex and trash a tea party.
Because T-Rex has little arms, so he gets angry.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to
he
get
can't drink tea, so he gets really mad, so he just wrecks the tea party.
Nice T-Rex Tea Party.
And
huh?
it's all gyroscope based, so you move back and
Accelerated,
forth.
yeah.
And then I also just found an app called Sirenscape. It's all about music for your games, so it's kind of like a background music thing. It's interesting. I don't know how much I'd actually use it, but it has some background noises that aren't bad. Other than that, I don't think I'm using anything new.
Is it all exportable? Like, could we add it as a thing during our podcast?
If I had another audio in,
yeah,
but I don't right now.
but
So.
you couldn't just splice it into the.
No, I have to play it and record it while we do it. I think I might be able to do it from the website. I'm not positive.
Okay.
So movies, Shirley. Have you seen anything new lately?
No.
No. Have you seen anything lately? We watched Dracula last night.
Watch Dracula.
Which Dracula?
Yeah,
Yes,
that is actually a question.
Dracula on NBC.
the new TV show.
Yep, the new TV show.
We watched the first episode of that. That was interesting.
It's very, very interesting. I like what they've done with changing the character concepts around. It's based loosely on Bram Stoker's Dracula. I don't know why, but I've always been like a Dracula vampire
Vampires
fanatic.
are awesome.
So yeah,
Yeah, they're
The
The
correct
order-
vampires.
the Ordo Dracula in it.
yep. But yeah, if you get a chance, check it out next Friday. It's every week on NBC at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard
On Fridays.
Or
Oh,
on
that's
the,
the
or on
new
the Hulu
one?
Prime.
Yeah, the
if
new
you're
one.
interested. It's
Oh,
on Hulu Prime.
I want it
Or
without
Hulu
commercials.
Prime.
You can buy it on iTunes
Yeah.
by episode. There's no commercials.
Yeah.
Alright.
Then no, I'm I'm just kind of watching older movies. Watched It, Dracula, Monsters Inc. You know, stuff. For
Scott,
Halloween.
movies?
The last 2 movies that I saw were Pacific Rim.
Yeah. How'd you like that?
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty good, wasn't it? Wasn't it, Scott? Wasn't it just amazing?
My favorite line was, "Where's my goddamn shoe?" I have to say, no, I thought it was a really, really good romp. I thought it was very enjoyable. There were there were only 1 or 2 times toward the very end when I went, really? Okay.
I love the.
All right.
I love that they had a sword the whole time,
And then nobody mentioned, like, she's like, wait, we've got the sword. And I'm like, so they installed the sword after he was using it, but no one told him that this was, okay, might have wanted to mention that.
I'm going to punch things with armor, you know.
Right.
Or I could slide a sword behind the armor plate and kill it in one blow.
Yeah. And I went, well, that was new. Well, and I thought, okay. And then they broke the sword, and it was like, oh. And then she went, we've got another one. And I was like, they didn't tell him they had 2? I mean, so there were a couple of times when it was like,
Or have
just a couple, like 1 or 2, maybe 3.
We're going to build a wall slightly taller than the monsters that are coming through the rift in the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, hey, it keeps you. Hey, are you thinking that our government doesn't just go, hey, all we need to do is keep these morons busy long enough for them not to know what? Hey, we dodged a bullet. Now I guess like the ball wasn't necessary. Yay! You've never known your government to do that? Yeah. Seriously? That was one of the least plausible. I mean, one of the least objectionable things that I had a problem with in the movie. No, I found a handful of things that made me go, huh? But beyond that, I thought it was a good-natured romp. It really got me when they did the drift in the beginning with the 2 brothers, and you're like, yeah! And we dropped in the water, and we did the kung fu pose in the beginning, and then we kicked the snot out of this thing, and it was awesome! And then it tore into the thing and sucked his brother out, and I went, oh shit! I didn't see that coming. All right, you got me. I was like, all right, where are we going? And the whole, it's not dead yet, and I expected, okay, epic, like, oh, look, encore. Yeah, we're going to beat it down. And then the claw thing came through and killed his brother, and I went, ooh. All right, let's see where you want to go with this. I'm in.
You said 2 movies. What's the other one?
Now You See Me.
Okay.
Yes.
Which was with the 4 magician, the 4 horsemen, which I thought was really good as a whole.
Yeah.
The ending was not as strong as the movie as a whole.
Didn't see it coming, and then when it happened,
I saw a bunch of parts of it together.
Yeah, but who is in the end, standing there at the end? I did not see coming.
They put out things like with the watch and with a couple other. And
the
little pieces where
we'll have to talk when we're not
recording. And I don't necessarily want to give out spoilers.
2 or 3 of us have not seen this.
Where I went, oh well, that's the company that did this, and I went, oh okay, yeah, I got that part. And I caught several of the pieces, but it is very much put together. And this is one of the things that really, really drew it to me. I spent 3 months studying apprenticing under a magician at Indiana State. Instead of going to class, sorry, Sycamores, and you've got the setup, the distraction, the reveal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In a magic trick, you've got, hey, I want you to look over here, or hey, I'm going to do the following. Pick a card.
Another Michael Caine movie that describes all that is The Prestige.
The Prestige.
Yeah.
Well, which I did not like the ending of The Prestige. Yeah. They could have done a couple other things, but yes, it's that here I'm going to set a premise. Now I'm going to distract you with it, and then we're going to have the reveal. Yeah. Okay? This movie was very much set up that way.
Oh, yeah.
And it followed a very patterned, especially street magician or hand performance, sleight of hand type movement, which was really, really good. But the reveal was not as solid as the setup, the misdirection, combined were magnificent. The reveal was like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to need to watch it again to dissect it more, but I didn't think the reveal had as much punch as the setup and the distraction did.
Yeah, I completely agree with that assessment. I enjoyed it a lot. I would recommend anyone who likes magic and mystery, type stuff going on. It's a great movie to watch, but yeah, the ending is just sort of there, and I think maybe they were planning for a sequel because they're filming one.
Oh, are they really?
They're pre-production right now. So,
Johnny, movies.
yeah, it's October when we're recording this, and I apparently hate sleeping, so I've been watching horror movies on Netflix. Scott, I think everybody here's been to my house at least once. So, Paranormal Activity 2.
Oh, nice.
I watched that one a long time ago, right? And I can no longer sit on my love seat at night after everyone else has gone to bed because we have the kitchen that lets into the garage.
Yeah.
And if you remember the end of Paranormal Activity 2, you know,
I haven't seen any of them.
Well, are you going to?
No.
Okay. Well, in that house they have an L-shaped couch, and a demon-possessed woman comes in and snaps the father's neck while he's on the short side of the L, facing the kitchen. So now I can no longer sit on my love seat because I'm worried that someone will come in through the garage or the back door and just have to sit on the couch that's back
That's right in front of the windows.
Wall.
Yeah.
At least they've got a wall, and I'm going to hear the window break first, so I'll have a second to react.
So you have a second to scream like a little girl before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So anyway, Paranormal Activity 3 and 4 are on the Netflix, and I watched those this week. And now it's hard to go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The only thing I'm pissed off about is Hunter is kidnapped in 2.
Yep.
I had to go on Wikipedia and read because I never watched 1. Chronologically, 3 happens first, then 1, then 2, then 4.
Yep.
And it's dumb. There's a baby in 2 called his name is Hunter, and that's the whole point. The demon wants the baby.
Uh-huh.
In 4, which is supposed to happen 6 or 7 years later, turns out Hunter was adopted by another family after the demon kidnapped it. And it's like, how the hell does that work?
But
Nice.
he didn't. Did you see both the sister and the aunt?
What? The sister's dead.
When she came around the corner in the house, it was one of the same two people.
No,
It was
the aunt,
the woman that stole the baby.
Right. She was the mother of the kid across the street. Hunter was the kid that was adopted by the blonde girl's family.
Now, I heard you say that earlier this evening when we played our Call of Cthulhu game that you were Hunter from
Paranormal Activity.
Is that the same? Yeah.
Yeah, where
okay.
the demon wants the boy for some reason. And I was like, this is what's happening to me.
Nice.
Turns out it was.
Nice.
Go listen to our Mask of Nyarlathotep side quest if you want to know more about that story.
Okay, we'll have to talk about it.
We'll have to talk about it after.
Because I just realized that... So who the heck's the blonde kid?
So we're going to talk about this afterwards, right?
Yeah. The creepy kid from across the street who talks to Toby in 4, who has to stay with the family. Yeah. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jesse, movies.
I haven't watched any movies, but I have watched some TV shows.
Go ahead.
I am 3 episodes from finishing Breaking Bad.
Yes.
And I am at that odd thing when I get to the end of series that I know is about the end where I really just don't want to finish it because I don't want it to be over.
Yeah.
But I have gone this far without having it spoiled-ish. So I know the longer I wait, the larger the chance of it getting spoiled is going to be. So I just need to knock out the last 3 episodes.
Jesse.
Don't.
Walter White is dead.
In the end, she dies. Wait, we were talking about beaches, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Anyway.
I hope I didn't ruin that for anybody out there that hasn't seen Beaches yet. It's not the crowd, not the audience.
The other one I started watching is
knows?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I absolutely love it.
With Justin Robert Young.
Yeah, exactly.
Or what's his actual
It's the
name?
guy
Danny
from...
DeVito? No,
No.
it's the other guy.
Charlie
the-
Day.
Charlie Day. The guy that's in Pacific Rim. The only saving grace in Pacific Rim.
Whatever.
Really?
Ron Perlman
Yes.
was awesome.
Ron Perlman
didn't
was
last long.
amazing.
No, but he was
So-
awesome.
Yes, he did. He was in the entire freaking movie.
He
Did
needed
you not
more
watch
parts.
it to the
That's a
end?
solid-
I watched all of it. I agree.
Okay.
But I want... That was my problem with that movie. Is it just...
That wasn't his only problem with the movie.
No, there's
He has
lots of problems,
1,001 whiny baby
but-
problems.
Go listen to our immediate
There's
movie
just so
review.
much it could have done, and it doesn't do anything. There's so many paths it could follow.
Yeah, so
I could have watched a 2-hour movie about Hannibal Chow and been 100 times happier than
That
watching...
was awesome, by the way. I picked my name, my #1 favorite historical guy, and my #2 restaurant, Chinese restaurant in Manhattan. I loved it.
So,
and by the way, did everyone pick up on the shoe fetish
Yes.
in that movie?
Oh,
Where's
yeah.
the third shoe? Because there's Hannibal Chow's and the little girls, and these things always come in threes. I want to know where the third shoe was. I got to watch it again to find the third shoe. It was a good movie. 'Cause have you found the third shoe? Then maybe you didn't get it.
The
It
little-
didn't come together as a gestalt for you because you didn't find the third
The
shoe.
little girl
Watch it again.
crying. Beautiful scene. Absolutely loved it. And then they drop it.
They didn't drop it.
They didn't even
She
follow up with
becomes
the
the
story.
adult.
No, it doesn't. No. That's
how about
Wow.
we discuss this some other time, guys?
Sorry.
Like on a
No, that's
previously
okay.
recorded podcast.
Yeah, like on a previous.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to
Review
listen to that one
Pacific Rim?
and then come to the next. What are we doing to
Yeah.
rebut the?
Sounds great.
Shirley and I watched the first episode of American Horror Story season 1,
Oh, what do you
Yep.
think about it?
and
'Cause I
then
haven't
quickly
think about
shut it
giving
off
that-
as soon as the
clown showed up?
credits rolled because it scared the shit out of me.
Was there a clown?
No,
No.
it was just creepy.
It is
Have you
very,
watched
very
it?
No, I
creepy.
haven't watched it at
I
all.
have heard a lot
Watch
of
Season
the
really
first
good
one
things about it.
is on now.
Season 3.
Or is that season 3? And my wife is like, "Ooh, that looks interesting." For the
Watch the
commercials.
first one with her.
I've never watched.
You don't.
any of
just
them.
watch
I don't.
Each season is completely different from the
That's
last
what I
season,
heard.
so you can
Except
get into
for some
whatever
of
you
the
like.
characters show up.
Right.
No,
But they're
some
not
of
the
the
same
actors.
characters. It's the
Oh.
same
They're not even the
actors.
same characters. It's just
Yeah.
actors.
Right, same
Watch
actors.
watch episode 1, season 1's on Netflix.
Yeah,
Right.
I
So just
plan
watch
to
it
go
with
to
your
watch
wife.
it. It's,
And then if you feel dirty and like you want to shut the TV off afterwards, you'll know what I felt.
All right. Okay.
I've also been watching Sons of Anarchy, and I'm up to date on those. So
So we're also listening to TV shows because I started watching The Fall
the fall.
with
Oh yeah.
Scully.
Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson
I
is
have
this,
not heard of this.
Belfast officer that's come in to do this review of this murder, and she finds out that it might be connected to another murder, and it's 5 episodes, and we've only been through the first one, and the end of the first episode was just like, I am in, I am hooked, and it's great. I mean, it's this really like you're going, what in the hell is this? And then by the end of the first episode, I was just like, oh, we have to watch the rest of them now.
Yeah.
We also started
Sounds
watching
awesome.
The Fringe.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been pretty
Fringe.
good. We're only like 2 episodes in, but it's
I
pretty
didn't
good.
know we
What?
were doing TV shows.
Well, we've been busy watching West Wing.
And not Samurai Rebellion.
yeah.
Nice.
Fair enough. Kind of forgot about that. Oops.
And you guys all have already plugged the IT crowd.
No.
No, I forgot about that one.
Okay.
That's good.
So anyhow, moving on.
Yeah, good show. Go watch it.
Great
So,
show.
Marvel Agents of
IT
S.H.I.E.L.D.
crowd.
Anybody? Agents
Yeah.
of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
I like it.
I like
I want
it.
to see where they're going. Yeah.
Alex reminds me every Tuesday.
I haven't started it yet. I figure I like to watch my shows in season clumps.
Yeah, that's the other thing
normally.
that's bothering me, especially about Sons of Anarchy. Is I'm so used to Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta wait a what for another episode? This
Yes.
is
Yeah.
Exactly.
stupid.
Well, I'm worried. I'm worried about the show because once they reveal, there's two things are potentially breaking points for me. They reveal what happened to Coulson and why he's still alive after Avengers, or they stretch it out forever.
Oh no,
Either one of those like, makes
they
me
will
want.
reveal Coulson as Avengers 2 comes out, and that will be the explanation.
so?
Yep. Because Ultron will take control of the LMD that is Coulson and turn him into the Vision.
Nice.
That's what's going to
That's
happen.
my prediction too.
And then that will be the end of Coulson, but we'll get the Vision leading this team, played by the same actor.
I have a feeling, and they'll still just call him Coulson, but
Yeah.
his Avengers name will be
Yeah.
Vision.
And
So,
he'll be some backup team
Yeah.
guy or something. Yeah,
well, because apparently in the comic book, Vision is now nanobots,
that's so dumb.
not a density controlling robot.
So
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah,
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He made net out of himself. I throw
Table
my
flip.
hands up.
Anyway,
Okay, hey Scott,
Yes.
are you on another podcast?
Am I on another podcast?
Yes,
The Nerds Domain presents Masks of Gnarlthep.
yes. You haven't. Let's talk about your dreams.
I don't want to talk about my dreams. No.
So, how are you enjoying that podcast?
I don't like that game.
Yes, you
I
do.
don't-
You love that
well,
game.
I do,
Every
but that-
moment of it.
The last couple that we did were somewhat disturbing and potentially unsettling. It was not good. I mean, it was good. It was really good in that it was not good.
So, we have our normal Mask of Gnarlthep game. We kind of put it on hiatus for 4 weeks, 5 weeks,
5 now.
to give to give one of our players a chance to recover from some sickness, and Shirley ran a side quest for us, so those are going to be going.
There's also
soon.
the one who got married.
Yeah, he got.
Oh yeah,
he's off
another
on his
guy.
honeymoon.
Another guy got married. That's a good point. So
Congratulations, George.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, congrats,
Allie.
Allie. Sorry, brain fart.
Mrs. George.
Mr. and
Yeah,
Mrs.
Mrs.
Mr. and
George.
Mrs. the Chimples.
Yes.
Yes, the chip. Raise a glass for me, George.
Opa. They're Greek Orthodox.
Salud. Oh, Greek Orthodox?
Yeah.
Opa, then. Very good.
So Shirley ran us through a fun game of death and
Death.
shenanigans. Because that first episode is full of shenanigans.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It was a great setup episode.
It was. It
if
really
I could
was.
say so.
So yeah, we had fun with that, and we encourage you guys to head over and check that out. You can find it on iTunes by searching for Nerds Domain, and you can get it through Podkicker and all those normal Android apps that I don't really know anything about.
Beyond Podcast.
I think that'll do us tonight
Yeah.
for Nerds Domain for the Nerds Domain podcast. You can catch us on iTunes. Go over there and give us a rating, some stars, and write something down. That would be great. And then
Anything.
I Like Buffalo is a perfectly good review. I'm okay with it.
Buffalo.
Yes. You can also find us on Twitter
That's a
at
sentence.
Nerds Domain. Johnny is at Foolsmask. Justin is at J_Kimmett. I'm at Quiet. Shirley is at SNed70. And Scott is at Big Daddy T _
Big Daddy T _
There we go. Facebook.com/nerdsdomain. Go over to the website and read our reviews. Check out our comics for our for our Masks of our LTF game. We have shirts for sale over at tinyurl.com/indie shirts
Through /loot.com.
/. Yep. And we will talk to you guys real soon.